Hello, this is Tristan from cardiocritic.com, and today we're taking a look at the Polar M430. The M430 is a GPS sports watch with off-the-wrist heart rate monitoring, courtesy of these 6 sensors on the back of the watch, and also an integrated GPS. The M430 replaces the hugely popular Polar M400, the biggest difference being that the M400 requires a heart rate chest sensor and the M430 requires the heart rate directly from the wrist using the sensors on the back. The purpose of this video is just to walk you through the product, to show you what it does and doesn't do. And if you've been thinking of buying one, hopefully this video will answer all your questions and you'll be in a position to make a decision. I've had the watch now for a month. I do apologise, it has got some scratching here because I do a lot of gardening work. Unfortunately, I did get my arm stuck behind a wall and there was nothing that would stop that getting a little bit of a scratch there, so apologies for that. What I'm going to do is go through the main features and functions of the watch one at a time, and obviously if you have any questions then please post them to the comments of the video, and as always please like and subscribe to my channel as well. Okay, so let's just start with the home screen. This is the main view. Like many watches nowadays, you can choose between several different watch faces. If you look on my review page, you'll see some samples of those. This is the default screen. It's a digital screen. As you can see from the bottom, it's starting to fill up a bit. That's because my daily activity is currently at 13%. So as you reach your daily goal, that brighter bit at the bottom will move up there. It's a nice clear display. The little icon here shows you what you're currently doing, what the watch is recording your activity as. So currently obviously I'm sitting down. That could be lying, walking or active, depending on what you're actually doing. 5 buttons, 2 on the left side, 3 on the right side. The top and bottom buttons basically scroll you through the main features and functions. The bottom left takes you back to your home screen or to the previous screen if you've been in some settings, and the top left button is the backlight. Off the wrist heart rate sensors have been around now for about 3 or 4 years, courtesy initially of Mio, and they are from certain brands getting better and better. This new sensor from Polar using the 6 LEDs, again on my website review you'll see an accuracy test where I've been using a Garmin Edge 820 with a chest strap on a bike ride to compare the accuracy of the M430. So far I have to report that I'm pleased to report that the M430 has been exceptional. I've used it for at least a dozen exercise sessions, both mountain bike, road racing, road bike and running, and I haven't experienced once any sporadic highs or lows or dropouts. It's been brilliant. The M430 is marketed as a GPS running watch, but don't let that put you off if you're not a runner. It is a perfect watch for anybody who exercises outdoor and wants accurate speed and distance data from the GPS and heart rate data from the heart rate. Polar support over 80 different sports profiles. So as you can see here, we've got profiles from many sports. These are my personal sports. You can go onto the Polar Flow website and set your own. choose from, as I say, I think it's 80, it may even be up to 100 now, they've added some more recently. So it's not just a running watch, it's for any outdoor sports that will benefit from the GPS and the off-the-wrist heart rate. Okay, let's start looking at some of the main features and functions of the M430. We're going to use the up and down buttons to navigate to the features. What Polar have done here, there's about 7 feature pages. Instead of having to scroll through them all, what Polar have done from time of day, they've made the most two popular functions, which is your daily activity and your heart rate. So you can just go from time of day, just press up to get to heart rate, or press down to get to activity. You can obviously just scroll through them all if you want to, but just for a quick shortcut, up will take you to heart rate, or down will take you to your day. If you're going to heart rate, this is just for ad hoc, here and now. You need to activate that, press the red button. What that will now do is it will start looking for the heart rate off my wrist, and if the watch was on my wrist, within about 3 or 4 seconds I'll have my heart rate. To leave that, press the bottom left, press it again to take me back to time of day. So this is the back button again. I'm just going to go through them all quickly then using the down button. One thing I did forget, obviously this shortcut to the heart rate, go up, shortcut to your daily activity, go down, but to get to exercise, it's the red button in the middle. That will then take you to your training mode. There we get my day, a percentage of your activity tracker for the day, 113% of the day. And if you press it again and again, if we go down here, it will tell you what you need to do to reach your target for the rest of the day. So I can go for a 50-minute jog, nearly a 2-hour walk, or stand up for 6 hours. So that's your daily activity. Diary. The diary will take you to days of training. You'll see the normal days. If the day has a square next to it, then there's an exercise session. If there's no square, then it's just a normal day with your normal activity. So the squares mean as an actual exercise, as opposed to just a normal activity tracking. So in this day, there's my daily activity, and there's my running data. And in each one, if you want more, you can just press the red button. So there's my run, and we can scroll through, including the training benefit. All these things are covered in more detail on my review at cardiocritic.com, so please do look at that as well as watching this video. Time in training zones. Polar use 5 sports zones. Heart rate data, calories, how many of the calories have came from fat burn. So if you wanted to be on a weight loss program, then you'd want to spend more time in zone 1 and 2. As you can see, I spent more time in zone 3, which isn't the most efficient fat burning zone, which is why it's at 26%. Pacing information and a running index. This is a key feature of the M430, was also in the M400. Running index tells you how efficiently you're running, so it looks at your speed and your distance, takes into consideration your age, and gives you a running index. That is plotted on Polar Flow, so you can see if you're progressing or not. And that's time spent in your speed zones. And ascent and descent data, plus some lap data. You can have auto laps, manual laps. That didn't have any laps on that one. Okay, so that's your diary. Settings. Sports profiles, physical settings, general settings, watch settings. Sports profiles. These are all the profiles I've selected. Like I say, you can go to Polar Flow and choose the ones you want. The best thing that I find that one of the best improvements recently at Polar have made on the Polar Flow app, I can change the screen views. So in the past I had to go to Polar Flow on the website, but now I can change it in the app. So this is just some of the top level data for each sport. So heart rate settings, what do you want to see, what your limits are, what the level of GPS recording is. That will, if you set that to power save, can give you up to 30 hours now on the M430, so up to 30 hours of training data. I've got that normally on high accuracy. Automatic pause if you stop, or if you're at a certain speed, so I get that if I'm less than 1.5 mile an hour it will pause. So that's for road biking. In each sport you can go into the same metrics and set them differently if you need to. So if you do particularly long road biking, then you might want to set that to GPS to the power save mode. So if you're going away for a weekend or long weekend, or a few days cycling, to get up to 30 hours GPS recording, change that there. If you want to change what you see in each mode, then you need to do that on the app. I'll show you that in a minute. Physical settings is, again, that all comes from the app anyway. These I'm not going to go to each one of these. Smart notifications, inactivity alerts. Okay. Watch settings, simple things but are great. Daily alarm, you can have it go off once, Monday to Friday, every day, or off. That's great for a normal working week, Monday to Friday. These are the different watch faces. I like that one, the default. Okay, so there's some of the settings there. I think we covered them all. Any questions, like I say, please just use the comments field and I'll do my best to answer. Fitness test, another key feature that makes people buy a Polar. Fitness test. You sit back and relax 3, 4, 5 minutes, and at the end of it you will get a VO2 score. It's something that many people, unless you start using it, might be a bit skeptical about, but very good. I find if I do these wrong, after dinner, after cups of coffee, or immediately after exercise, or even a few hours after exercise, the score will be a lot lower than normal. But I've found over the last 2 or 3 years of using the VO2 software, testing on the V800 and the M400 and the M430, I always come out about 47, 48, 49, depending where I am in my sort of general training program. So if you're serious about training and you want to see some improvement, then recording your VO2 max estimation on the M430 is very useful. That just tells you how to do it. You just sit back, relax, press the red button, and it will guide you through. So that's the fitness test on the M430. And here we have timers. There's 3 different timer features. There's a stopwatch, interval timer, and finish time estimator. The stopwatch is just great. It's just something that so many people don't put on their watches nowadays. It's just a proper traditional stopwatch with laps and splits. So start, press the red button anytime there's a lap or a split. The split time is recorded at the bottom there. You can see them progressing. Stop with the bottom left, and then reset with the top right. That's the M430 stopwatch. Interval timer, not too technical, it's just simple to set. You set the timers here. So timer 1, distance based, 1 mile. Timer 2, time based, 3 minutes. Now if I press start and I was outside, every mile and then 3 minutes, it will just keep on doing that. So that could be great for doing interval efforts, 1 mile on, 3 minute recovery. Estimate finishing time. If you're doing, for example, here I've set it to almost a 5k, so 3.1 miles. So you can just set the distance and just press start. And what would happen while I was running, it will give me my finish time at the top here. So if I was outdoors running at 8-minute mile time, then it would tell me there 24 minutes and 30 or 40 seconds to finish that. So if you're doing a race and you want the finish time there, you do also get access to some other default screens, so you can see your heart rate, not just the finish time screen. Paused, press and hold to stop. Okay. No save. So where were we then? That was timers. And now we'll jump into favourites. Favourites are created on Polar Flow. They are phased training targets. So these are more technical than the simple interval we just had. This would be, for example, 2 times 2 miles at 7:30. If I was to do this, I don't think it will show me anything here because I haven't got a GPS, but there we go. I've set it for warm up. These are proper structured phased targets. Now you set them up on the Polar Flow website and then you then just save them into the watch. And I don't know if there's a limit to how many you can have. I've had about 4 or 5 in my watch. Currently, if we go in there, I've got, I think, 2. So I've got 2 times 2 mile at 7:30, obviously with a warm up and a recovery. And then I've got 4 times 1 mile. I can't remember what that is. I think that's at 7-minute mile pace. So if you are running or cycling the same sort of phase targets on a weekly basis, and you set this up in Polar Flow, save it into the watch, and then every time you do it, just recall it, and that's it. Simple. And then we're back to my heart rate. So again, my heart rate would pick the heart rate off my wrist. It doesn't do 24/7 heart rate, the M430. I don't really think it's something that you really need anyway. Okay, let's have a quick look. Oh, let's just, before I forget something, it's got its own proprietary cable for charging. I don't think this is used by any of the other watches. Hopefully it'll be something that Polar use on some other new products, but that's the charging USB cable for the M430. So we've looked at the main daily features and functions of the watch. What we now need to quickly do is have a look at exercise mode. So importantly, in exercise mode, I say you've got the sports profiles. I've got about 9 or so in my watch. Burp. There's 80 plus on the Polar Flow website. You just go on there, tick the ones you want, and then you can either you can accept the default screen settings, or if you want to, you can set the settings yourself. So what you see is what you want to see. So for example, if we go to running for me, these different screens are what I have selected to see. So you can choose between 1 line of display up to 4 lines of display, and then for each line of display you can choose the metric you want to see. A brilliant improvement on the Polar Flow app is that you can do all of this now on the app and then upload it to the watch, so you can see what you want in each sport while training. Okay, so this is the Polar M430. I've given it a full 5 out of 5 star review from cardiocritic.com because it is fantastic. The M400, this fella here was a brilliant watch anyway, actually underrated by many people, eclipsed a little bit by the Garmin Forerunner range, but a very capable watch, and I hope that people will give the M430 a try. Easy to use, well made, unisex size, available in several colours, comfortable on the wrist, very accurate heart rate, good GPS, excellent battery life. I've been wearing it normally for a week at a time, exercising probably 5 or 6 or maybe 7 or 8 hours a week. I don't know, to be honest, how many, but it certainly doesn't spend half its life in a charging cradle. Once a week is plenty for me, but you can set the GPS sensitivity to battery save mode, and you will get up to 30 hours training time off the watch if you do that. Please check prices from the links on my website and below this video. Please subscribe to the channel, and like, etc, etc. Thank you very much for watching. This is Tristan from Cardio Critic. Take care and goodbye.